All right, so here we got Rosie girl. I think she's supposed to be right side, so let me do it right. Well, she went to the left today. So either way, should be good on either side, right? So we already did our free walk, right? So she got to run. You hear her, see her tongue is going nice. That's when you're ready to go for a walk. Now, with her, I talked to her, we talked about her walking, right? Still kind of a little crazy. I'm like, well, and he's still doing the heel drills in front of the house for a couple minutes, right? Which is this, just redirecting, that's a good girl. So I told him, I said, if you feel like it would help, or you need to take the next step, you can add corrections. So there's a couple ways to get the dogs more engaged with you, right? So first, you're just doing your redirection, and you can use your food. Good girl, right? You turn and get that food. Good girl. Now, a lot of times the food is going to lose its value when you have your squirrels and all that. So it depends on the dog. But that's a way to get her, right? Be sure and use some food while you're doing this. Now, when I walk, I don't use food, right? Just do a bunch of different things. Right, and your movement, your motion gets your engagement, right? So you can use your food. This is ideal. For me, using the food in your motion, that's the ideal, right? That's how we like it. And the reason I'm gonna talk about corrections is because I saw this dude that's a good girl. He says he used to be a balance trainer, and he knows balance trainers are heavy-handed because he was. Just because you were doesn't mean everybody is. So when you turn, right, good girl. Usually what I do is when they turn with me, that's when I'll use food, right? And then when they don't, I usually just let the leash pressure go, depending on how long. Rosie's well over a year now. Well, not well over, but she's over a year. So say you wanted to do a correction because she's too into everything, good girl, right? Be sure she's still young and high energy enough. Play for a little bit first, right? And then here, when you do a turn, if she's really paying attention to something else and you're gonna use a correction, you're coming down shoulder length, boom. And it's gonna be 80% her going away. So, because we don't wanna be heavy-handed. You don't have to add a lot. You're letting, mostly her being distracted is what creates the pressure of the leash. Right? And then, so when that happens, I don't use food. So when there is leash pressure, no food. Good girl. When there's not leash pressure, food. Right? Select right here. Oh, good job. Then say you're walking, right? So here's why I brought up the other guy. He was reacting to a video where a guy used 17 corrections and he called them preemptive corrections, right? In like 30 seconds or something like that. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty obnoxious. Now here's the thing about all these reaction videos that you see. They never give you the history of the dog. Is this dog aggressive, lunging all the time? So what happens is they look, lock, load, right? So you have to, if you're doing corrections in that situation to make them stop lunging, right? You have to do it at the load part when they're starting to get excited, right? That still sounds like a lot. Like the video that he was showing, it did look like the guy was just correcting for no reason. But again, you don't know the history of that dog, so it's hard to say, right? So you got to watch out with all these reaction videos, because they never tell you the history of the dog that the person's working with. Now, me personally, I don't like the preemptive corrections, right? Like that. I would rather, this is what I prefer. She sees the squirrel, right? And she's not paying attention. Ha ha, good girl. I like the butt touch, butt pinch. I call it butt pinch back up. The touch on the butt, theoretically or ideally, most of the time, stops their focus. So the butt pinch would be as opposed to the leash correction, right? So that where the dude in the video was doing a leash correction, like he was walking and he was like, correct, correct, correct. I would rather do the butt pinch back up, right? And if the dog's still looking, you just keep going. I usually don't offer the food until the dog's not looking, and then I'll give food, or I'll give a pat, right? We change sides. It's okay. She can walk on either side, right? So I would rather do that, or say you just want to keep going. I try to just get a look first, like Rosie, yeah, good girl, right? So I try to use their name, or maybe even a touch was still going, to break their focus, right? So say she's looking at a squirrel, you can go like this, right? Now you want to be careful using food if they're still looking at the squirrel, right? So like say I did this and she kept looking at the squirrel, but she keeps going. So that's what I prefer to do. I prefer to do a physical touch than the leash correction. I save the leash corrections for when they lunge. So as soon as they lunge, boom, and you're still coming down shoulder level, and it's still mostly their energy, right? So their energy is doing the most of the corrections. Good girl, right? But anyways, if you find that if you've been working for 8 months and you're tired of just redirecting, and you're not going to that next spot, a couple corrections could really help. Now, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it, right? You just keep doing. To me, this is a naturally occurring, I call it naturally occurring negative reinforcement, right? When you turn, there's a person with a dog over there, right? So naturally occurring negative reinforcement. Good girl. There was pressure applied from her not paying attention, right? So here, I was about to do a correction, but she came with the pressure, so I didn't need to, right? And I don't know if you could see my hands there, but she was staying looking back. I was about to go boop, and in a bunch of things that I've done, like mostly in the pack walks, right? You'll see, I call it a boop boop. It's a correction, which is positive punishment, right? So it's all the same thing. It's just a different word for the same action. I say boop boop because I think it's cute. And people call them corrections because we're all scared to use the word punishment. But I'll almost always say it's positive punishment. You're applying some level of force, no matter as minimal force as necessary to get the job done, but as much as you need to, right? Good girl. Right? I'm gonna come over here. Did I make all my points? Probably not, because I'm terrible at this. But yeah, whatever, dude. Punishment is just a word. You're trying to stop a certain behavior. And you can a lot of times stop it through negative reinforcement, because there is a level of aversiveness that you apply in negative reinforcement that how's it going, Charles? That the side product is stopping that, but you're really trying to encourage her paying attention to you, right? So right here, good girl, right? That's all it has to be. She's just a little distracted, no big deal. And that right there, I usually let go because they're looking and coming with you. But that's all it is a little, most of the time. Depends on the energy that they're putting in. Right? You can use some kind of noise, right? If you want to help. A lot of times in the initial moments, I will use the command, right? Heel. Good girl. And then heel, right? And then I'll stop it because now I want them to be paying attention to me. Does that make sense? So a couple times I'll use it, then I just want them to pay attention. Right, girl? He's a sweet thing. He's a sweet thing. right? Young, bigger energy dogs, let them get some energy out first, right? Before you get into your hill drills. Otherwise, your hill drills is going to be longer, right? You play like I get to let them have some freedom here, and so she gets to run a lot. So she ran a lot. So my hill drills got better faster, right? And really, at a year, I don't know. I feel like you should do it randomly, anyways. But you should be able to go out once they're about a year. You should be able to go out sometimes and not have to do hill drills at all. But I also don't think it's a big deal to come out and spend 2 minutes, right? If you're going for a 30-minute walk, you're still going 28 minutes, right? So 2 or 3 minutes, just back and forth. Figure eights, sharp turns, soft turns, just get them focused on you. Then your walk's gonna be much better, right? At least that's the idea anyways. All right, let's go get Milo, walk you with Milo some. So I think he's got to poop and you need more time. Yeah, girl.